have said when they came in, but they have always been just limited to the southern tip of the peninsula, and their community was named Point Placencia. There has been a media thing changing the whole dynamics of the peninsula and then calling the entire peninsula Placencia, when in fact Seine Bight, a community that has done so much for the country, I believe, producing as many teachers, I would believe, almost as the two major towns, Langriga and Toledo. Seine Bight has been there existing. Our people have been using that entire peninsula as our customary lands, period, for creations. North of us, there had always been now and then in the individual other businesses come and go, come and go. This would be a family type of thing that comes in now and then in the area of Blair Atoll and so forth. But our Seine Bight people have been using that entire peninsula as customary lands, and whoever is in a position to elaborate on this, I would like you, or to build on what I'm saying, I would encourage that we make this fact of history a very important one. Just as the Mayans claim customary lands, clearly Seine Baitans, the Placencia Peninsula is literal customary lands for Seine Bight people.
What?
Our people were the only ones using that peninsula from top to bottom. And more than that, then comes across the lagoon, heading out all the way to Georgetown. I want any person not so familiar with the details, but have an idea where Georgetown is located and have an idea where Seine Bight is located to think about it. Where Georgetown is the farm for Seine Bight. The farm. Our people did not, there were no vehicles, period. But our people were not introduced to horses, so we didn't have horses. Yet our people from Seine Bight village, whoever a stranger is listening to this and knows where Seine Bight is on the peninsula and knows where Georgetown is on the highway, just imagine that there's where the farm of these people was from in the early 40s. This is before the roads were built. And this was before any other group was in the area. When government, once again, our people, the area of Georgetown area that our people used for farming mostly was the Wahalif area, which is present day a Maya community named San Roman. We had a name for that. The name was Wahalif for that area. And that was the main area our people farmed before. But when government came, once again, you heard me say earlier that they brought us from Riversdale and Kaibal and limit us to Seine Bight. And they did the same thing again, surveyed out Georgetown. Granted, they surveyed 1,000 acres of land there for farmland for our people. Again, I want anyone interested in these things to record that when our people got those 1,000 acres of land in 15-acre blocks, amounting to about 50-something blocks, there were nobody close by ever to even be competing. So beside that 1,000 acres, we would have been the only people to expand further. These are important things to bear in mind, because for our people from Seine Bight to reach their farms in the Georgetown Wahalif area, they treaded that entire area unabated, undisturbed by any other group of people. It is easy to prove that that whole area, and I am saying, in my opinion, with physical boundaries would have been South Stan Creek River and the southern, in the north, and the southern boundary would have been, say, the Big Creek. All that area should be Seine Bight customary lands.
You're not driven by bloodlust or
I could end there for now.
Understand there?
Wow, That is riveting. I've
Yeah,
never
very.
heard
Thank you,
that
Marion. Thank you very much.
narrative before.
That's a very
Very
good, a very
riveting
important narrative. I
narrative.
was taking notes,
Okay.
and I want to revisit those notes some
Once
more.
again, but I want to review. Well, I have one question for Mr. Lambey.
Okay.
Can you please share with the audience and the group here, where did you hear this narrative? Can you share with us how you got this narrative?
I have my uncle. For any adult Garifuna person, I would say older than us, but had to be among us. My uncle's name is Theodore Richard Lambey. He's known in the Garifuna community for the type of service and work that he did.
So are you saying
he lived until he was old, and I was a person, he visits all of us, his younger children and nieces and nephews. He was a father to us. So he would visit us. But when he visited me during those periods, the visits were filled of me listening to what he had to say. Most other people didn't want to listen to what he had to say. But I listened and took some notes also while my uncle, Yao Tex, we call him. And for the records, if you don't know my uncle and you know Auntie Sarah, Mrs. Sarita Gonges, the well-known traditional buye of the Garinago.
Right.
Then, and if you've read the book by this gentleman Foster, Byron Foster, where she was explaining the processes in that area. And when she was saying that when she really, a guy was tough, that when she really got into extreme tight spots and difficulties in trying to figure out matters in that world, in that area, that she referred to her uncle Tex, which is her uncle in Garifuna because he's her close older cousin. She referred to her uncle Tex. So I'm saying all of that to describe my uncle. He was born in the area of like say maybe 1917 thereabouts, between 1915 and 1920, and died around 2005. But all that period around late 90s up to the first couple of years of the 2000, he was around, available, saying, saying these things that he told me all these things that I'm telling you now.
Okay. I hope the people in Seine Bight who are following up with this demarcation speaks to you, because I've never heard that narrative before you, and you showed us the history of the narrative, the oral history then, in your family.
Definitely.
You've shown us that.
It so happened that my family is in the heart of it, because when I'm talking about the same thing, I would be mentioning my very grandfather, great grandfather, uncle, stuff like that. Okay, so it so happened I could go on, and that's why when my uncle said to me, when he was telling me about the Thomas Zuniga estate, this was long before that people got interested in going to Seine Bight. So I knew about the Thomas Zuniga estate from that time. In fact, it was my uncle, Theodore Richard Lambey. One of his two sons, one is Deacon Lambey, the other son is Mervyn Lambey Sr., a well-known social welfare worker in Belize City. In the early 70s, my uncle from the States, with my grandmother being the last surviving child of Thomas Zuniga, the owner of the estate where public is, I'm saying that for reference to this conversation. My uncle was trying to get my grandmother to go in to his attorney with the help of my cousin Mervyn Sr., doing the legwork, carrying her, and my grandmother would stay at our house in Belize City for months, every now and then going to her appointment with this attorney, going to her appointment, and the process of transferring the land, said land where Publix is today, which was in her father's name, which is the property of her father, Thomas Zuniga. That process was not able to be done for whatever reason. That's the reason I am saying that how there's hardly any legal way that dealings with that land could take place unless a process of consensus with the surviving family members would have occurred, which we know nothing of that. So I believe that whatever sale and acquisition of title for that land is bogus, whoever has it. Is
Very
my
good. Very good, Marion. Very. There is, and Joe and I have discussed this. You will not be left alone. Saint Bight village will not be left alone. We are together in this. We will let the whole world, the international body that has jurisdiction over indigenous human rights, know about this.
Definitely.
Indigenous land rights, the bodies like the OAS, the bodies like CARICOM, the United Nations ILO conventions, especially the one that has instruments to protect indigenous rights, they will know about this. So you guys are not alone. There are laws. There are laws for lawless people. So we are here to tell you, you are not alone. We are together with you in this. Brother Joe?
Brother Egbert, I want to get another narrative from Saint Bight, and then I want us to allow the chairman of Saint Bight to speak because he's joined us, if he will. Okay, that's only if you would like to, Mr. Chairman. If not, it's okay. But I want to invite Miss Naomi Morera. Will you please unmute? Just click on the mic, and you'll see a red line through it. You click on it, and the red line will disappear, and then you can speak. Miss Morera, please give us your story about how this gas station affects you.
Go ahead, Naomi, unmute.
Are you able to unmute her, Egbert?
No, I'm trying to give her a signal.
Okay. Just press the mic with the red line through it on the lower right-hand side. Click on the bottom of your screen and the mic may pop up with a line through it. You hit that and then you'll be unmuted. The microphone, the tiny looking microphone to the right, to the left of your screen, on the bottom, the left. Okay, we could move along and see if Mr. Jose Aleman would like to speak or say a few words. He's the chairman of Saint Bight. Mr. Aleman?
Yeah, good night, everyone.
Yes, Mr. Jose, go ahead.
Yes, man. Well, after yesterday's consultation, what I could draw, a synopsis that I could place on the table, is that the people are really not against development. However, for the location that the development is, no, and the health hazards that would bring to them. The questionable course now is what is the next plan of action? Of course, as the village council stated, we will support the masses. And of course, for that to be done, I would think that a task force needs to be set up along with the council to see the direction that the people of Seine wants to go. However, having said that, I am thinking that with the 200 petitions that the individuals said that they had already, having that these are genuine, then of course we can start with those 200 people and have them come out to try to see what we can do, as this can turn into a social issue. DOE was there to have made their presentations clear. Representative from the fire was there as well as the developer and his experts. So the direction now would be the plan of action. And if we have a plan of action in place, then that is the direction that we should go. Otherwise, I think we would just be going around these things in circle and we won't reach a basis as to where we want to reach. No? And it relates to several different things, because as Mr. Marion Lambey had mentioned, he's also looking into how genuine the documents were tendered from the first sale to the second sale. And having said that, then a research must be done also through the Ministry of Natural Resources and Petroleum to try to see if the sale was in fact genuine and if it holds any liquidity.
Very good, very good, very good. I like the idea of having a task force so we could re-examine the issue of development as it relates to this gas station project. Brother Joe? I think Naomi got her gadget working. Naomi, you want to go?
Okay. Yeah, please. Naomi, tell us your narrative. How has this affected you, Naomi? What do you have to say about the gas station? You just heard the chairman say his piece. What do you say, Naomi?
She just unmuted. I could have heard her, but
Yeah,
she...
try it again. Just click the bottom of the screen first, and you'll see the mic pop up on the left bottom. You click the mic with the red line through it, and you'll be unmuted. Just click it once.
Yeah, she had unmuted it just a while ago.
Okay.
And Naomi, just jump in, Naomi, when you figure it out. And you have anybody else, Brother Joe?
Anyone else from Seine Bight on the line who would like to offer a narrative of how this is affecting you and what are your thoughts on the gas station and the development?
Brother Rodney Tambola from Honduras, you could jump in whenever you're ready.
Yes, hello, good night. I would like to make a little contribution now.
Yes, Arthur, go ahead.
Yes, first of all, I listened to the village council chairman from Seine Bight, and I do not agree with the village council chairman under one condition. First of all, he made a secret agreement, and that agreement that he made was not made at the multi-purpose building for the community center that represents us, the villagers. They had a secret agreement at Publix, so I believe he should go back to that Publix building and make a secret agreement again and tell them my people say no, so let's stop the project and discontinue it, because my secret deal, I did not represent my people, I did not consult them, so I'm sorry. My people have spoken, so please stop it, and apologize to those people and tell them I will not make any more secret deals on behalf of the people without consulting them. Thank you very much.
All right, Arthur. All right, we want to move on. Thank you, Arthur, for that observation. I want to see if Naomi can come in at some point in time, because Brother Joe also apparently has the idea of a narrative. We want to hear the people who are like directly affected by this decision. Brother Rodney, you could jump in whenever you're ready. I also see Alvia Flores. You could jump in, Alvia.
Mr. Hino?
Yeah, Jose. So
Yes,
I would want to take...
whenever you guys are ready, I can also submit all affidavits to you guys.
Yes.
Reference correspondence from the council to DOE. So
Yes.
you guys can have all correspondence as well, okay?
Yes, and Jose, I want to say that I do like that task force. If nothing else, maybe Joe too, you can see, myself, Joe, and 2 other people in this Zoom would like to be on that task force. And we'd like to be on that task force, okay? So we could discuss that after this meeting. I'll give the meeting another 20 minutes. And Joe, you might want to summarize the content of our press release. Let's go for another 20 minutes to listen to the testimonies of the people affected by this decision, so we can move forward.
Hello?
Yes, Naomi?
Go ahead, Rodney.
Rodney?
Good night, my brothers and sisters from Belize, Seine Bight.
Tell us where you're from, Rodney.
I am from Nicaragua. I belong to the Garifuna Nation. I must not say the group, but the Garifuna Nation, and I am in solidarity with you over Seine Bight. I know what you are going through. And I know I passed through St. Bight, Georgetown, Dangriga, Hopkins, Punta Gorda, so I know more or less where you are located. Garifuna, it's time for us to unite, not to fight, but to demand our right. I heard the comments and testimony of our brother and sister leaders of St. Bight. I just want to advise in behalf of what we can do. First of all, I heard that there hadn't been any environmental impact assessment fully done to see whether it would benefit or not this project to our people in St. Bight. We do not know, and we should do it. The Ministry of Natural Resource and Petroleum should do this environmental assessment, impact assessment before they begin this project. For what reason? To see what ecosystem, the biodiversity, and the natural resource that will be affected. One, remember Garifuna, we belongs to the nature, natural resource. We need to know how this would affect our drinking water, our well, our lagoon, our fishery. We need to know how many people that will be benefit from St. Bight. It's like St. Bight is yours. If I go to make an investment with you, remember you have said we need to sit down and place everything on the table. I have the capital, which is land. You have the money. How many percent, how much percent will be for you? 60 for me and 40 for you. I need at least 75% of my people to be working in this company and not only work as low class, but also have a position, administrative position inside the administration system that my people can be benefit. And why I'm saying this because of experience. We had suffered a lot of these type of project in the 70s. They permit these investors to come and they will do anything to establish the project. And when they get what they want to get, they will leave you and leave us broke with a lot of sickness. In Nicaragua right now, we have a lot of people dying with cancer and insufficiency of kidney cancer because of the different chemic that they had used in the gold mine. The people, they had slaved them, and when they get out all what they want, they take up and they leave and left us more poor than where we are and with sickness. So these are things I would invite our leaders to be very careful and very keen it that they should establish this in a document that this is what we're going to do to contribute with the development of our community. We are not against development, but I am the shareholder, stakeholder of the natural resource, how we are going to be benefit and how this money will be reflect in the art of the country to, to contribute in the social development, in education, in health, in transport, in sport, in all the social development component that is going to benefit our people. So I am in solidarity with you. I know what you are. We are not fighting, but we are demanding. This is demand because we are the stakeholder and we need to start a sustainable development and a self-governed and autonomous of our own natural resource. We need to administrate our natural resources, not that we're begging. We are demand this right that had been established to us from our ancestor, and from the United Nations that they agreed or had made known to the world that we are a nation. We are not a common people. We were set by our ancestor and God, so we are demanding our right. So I am with you, and I stop here, and I want to encourage you. Don't turn back. Get up, stand up for your right. This is Garifuna right, and it's our time to claim and demand right for our people. Thank you.
I noticed that, Brother Wellington, you just came in.
Yes.
So
Good evening.
we could hear you clearly. We are about to wrap up, so many people have given us their narratives on how Seine Bight was founded, and I particularly like to thank Marion Lambey for that, narrative on how his grandfather and people told him how Seine Bight was being used customarily. And we've listened to Jose Aleman, and he thinks that the people do have a right, they should have a voice. And so he's suggesting that we have a task force to reassess, make a needs assessment of this project, especially since the word is that there is need for a comprehensive environmental assessment, especially since the location is questionable. And I want to thank all of you guys here, Mr. Jose Aleman for coming out, Laverne Arzu for trying to, be very civil in demonstrating, this dissatisfaction with how this process was being delivered. To you, Brother Arthur Williams, and to you, Justo Agustin, for showing leadership. Marion Lambey, and keep those stories coming, those narratives, and Naomi Moreira. We want to hear the stories, the testimonies from the people who are immediately impacted. Brother Wellington, is there
Good evening,
anything you want to share? Go ahead.
Good evening, my fellow people. I'm going to be very brief, but to the point. We are a people that are being taken advantage of. From St. Vincent to Honduras, to Guatemala, to Nicaragua, and now Belize. Every land that we own belongs to us. But there's one thing that we must never forget, and that is the reason why we end up in these countries where we live after we lost our homeland, Urume, in 1796. And one of the reasons why I'm motivated and I'm willing to give up everything for this struggle is because our ancestors knew that this was coming. They were prepared for the good fight. They fought against the Spanish, the French, and the British. But they lost. But it's like a constant struggle and a constant fight. The minute we become complacent and believe that everything that we own is going to be there for us to use and cherish forever, we're going to lose everything that they gave their lives up for. Now, it is so simple that if our ancestors were willing to give up their lives so that we can have something, it is our responsibility to make sure that we fight to maintain what they left for us as a legacy. And respect is a key thing. We are being disrespected. Anybody can go into our community and they can take what they want to take, and we don't say nothing. We cannot do that no more. We must be consulted on the use of our land. And like what everybody is saying, we're not against development. We are for development, but respect is the key. Don't come into our community and disrespect us. You're not going to consult us. You're going to take away our lands. You're going to give leases. You're going to give titles. And eventually, we may be gone. But one day will come. If we don't stand up now, our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren will not have anything left for them. And they won't be able to say what we can say, that our ancestors left something for us, because we are sitting here and not doing anything. So let us keep up the fight. And we have the instruments of law that is on our side. Thank you all very much, and let's keep up the good fight.
Thank you.
Yes, hello. I would like to say something in closing.
Yes. Who's this?
This is Arthur Williams.
Yes,
I'm
brother
Seine.
Arthur Williams. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm very much happy that we have our chairman on board this conversation.
Yes.
But as an activist, I would like to inform everybody that this is not only the issue in Seine at present. There's a lot of secret development happening around Seine. I see fences behind Augustineville. I see dredging happening behind Spanishville. This chairman needs to be investigated. Until we have concrete evidence, I will bring out everything into light, because we have lost credibility in his leadership, because a lot of secret things is happening in this village that is aggravating us, the villagers.
Okay, Arthur,
So
Arthur, I want to invite you to be part of the task force as we discuss these issues going forward.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I want to get your phone number on the other side.
Thank you very much.
I want to also take note and of the presence of Sister Akilah Jaramogi from Trinidad, right? And you're out there with our brothers and sisters in a Kalinago Island in Dominica. Akilah, you want to give a solidarity message to our brothers in Seine Bight all the way from Trinidad and Dominica?
This is the call, and this is my contribution in solidarity, with my brothers and sisters who are going through this situation, lack of respect, lack of respect for my people. And I want to say, this is wrong, this is illegal. And our people should have the right, your people should have the right to say what they need and what they don't need. And if this is, the process that they are going through, that the developers or whoever is going to put that, service station or whatever they're going to do without consulting the people, that is totally wrong. So again, I stand in solidarity with you, brothers and sisters, and I want to extend this as well. I'm going to extend this as well with my brothers and sisters in the Caribbean. Share the story so you all will know that you're not alone in this struggle. I want to say continue to reach out there, continue to speak out fearlessly until justice is served. Again, don't give up the struggle. You have us out here looking in, and again, it's a violation on the rights of your people. Public consultation is a must, and at the end, in order for them to get that okay to go ahead, you all have to say and give them that okay, be part of the process. And if that is not the way they're doing it, then we will put all systems in place to make sure that justice is served. All right? So again, don't give up the fight. We are here to support you all. Ashe.
Ashe, Sister Akilah.
Edward.
Yes, brother. Blanco. Pablo, you might be the last person. We got 5 more
Yes,
minutes. Go ahead.
I hear the urgency in Brother Arthur Williams' voice.
Yes.
And, it's the same thing that I see that's happening in Honduras. For us, it's charter cities. If it's not charter cities, it's us losing our land. It's our indigenous land rights leaders being assassinated in their homes. I mean, there's always something. And this goes to show you how badly we need Garifuna Nation. The idea of this nationhood, of us all across Central America, along with the Maroon communities. I mean, I see what's happening in Jamaica now with the Maroons over there. It's all the same underlying issues. the disrespect, the respecting our indigenous status. We all have to unite. That's all I have to say at this point. We're gonna lose our land. We're gonna lose our culture if we don't unite now. So, from Honduras, solidarity with the brothers and sisters over there in Seine Bight.
Thank you, Pablo. Thank you very much for solidarity. Brother Joe.
Brother Hino.
Can I say something,
Hino.
please?
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up now in the next 3 to 4
Can I
minutes.
say something, please? I joined the meeting late, but can I say something?
Go ahead,
Go ahead,
Godfrey.
bro.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Godfrey.
I will be directly affected by this gas station. I am one of the few local investors in the village, and the gas station is being built directly in front of my guest house. Now, the investors did their best to assure us that they're doing their best to mitigate whatever potential dangers might be. However, I did a search on the internet, and I found out that there are factors that might be completely outside of their control. For example, there was a vehicle caught fire in Belize City in April last year. And it was not necessarily the gas station itself that caused the fire. It was a vehicle at the gas station. And the man from the fire department said that had that vehicle not been rolled at least 50 meters away from the gas station, the effects could have been catastrophic. So even though they're trying to assure us that they're doing their best where the technical issues are concerned, there are still factors. For example, the other factor that can affect the gas station is when they are refueling, the fumes and vapor control. So I wasn't convinced that they are looking after those factors that, with all due respect, might probably be out of their control. I am wondering, they try to convince us that the value of our land will increase. But if I am close to a gas station, I'm almost sure that the value of my insurance premium will increase as well. Yeah. And when I started building that facility, I had no idea that such a hazard would be introduced a couple of years down the road. Yeah. So my concern is valid.
Very good, Godfrey. Very good. Very good. Very good testimony. So I want to wrap it up. Now we've been here for an hour and a half.
If I can just say something, sorry, President. This is Lucayo.
Yes, Brother Lucayo.
Ambassador. Yes, Ambassador at large has been urging me to speak. So I'm currently on road now, but yes. I'm here just to express solidarity. To those who don't know, I'm a second-year PhD student in African history, and I deal with Maroon peoples of Jamaica and the Coromantee culture in the Caribbean. And I also deal with the histories of Ghana, and I am working there with the chiefs and the traditional communities, with the Akan peoples. I'm also working with conferences for Maroon sovereignty and personhood, with sponsorship, I believe, from multiple universities and the United Nations to establish indigenous sovereignty for Afro-Indigenous people across the diaspora. So I know I just kind of jumped in here, but I'm saying as a historian, as a scholar, I pledge myself to support this cause, to support the Garifuna people, the Garinago, to support the sovereignty there, the personhood, and all of those things. And so, there can be workshops and different forms of academic sponsorship for these initiatives. I'm here to help represent those things gracefully and respectfully.
Respect, Brother Lucayo is from UC Berkeley as a PhD candidate, and has dedicated part of his life to work with the Garifuna Nation in solidifying our efforts in, the drive to self-determination and autonomy. Good work, Brother Lucayo. I'm glad you stopped in.
And, I'm learning more and more about what's happening in the Garifuna Nation across the different nations in so-called Latino America. And I'm seeing the silencing that's been happening of these stories, of these genocides, of these abuses, erasure of history of people. So, I understand that there's an urgency. The time is now to establish the personhood and the indigenous land claims and all of these verifications that have to come now, and there has to be more. So me as a scholar, I can be writing articles, I can be doing what I can to bring more recognition and representation, respectfully.
Yes, Brother Okaya, and you are a blazing light. You are a blazing light to other scholars. All those scholars who've gone abroad and studied should do what Lucayo is doing. Work for our people. Work for our people. Bring the scholarship to our people so we could fortify our efforts. I want to ask now for a wrap up from the ambassador at large and Brother Joe. Brother Joe?
My name is Cynthia Ellis, and I embrace my Garifuna name, Lobafu Iseni, and on behalf of the Garifuna Nation, as ambassador at large for the Garifuna Nation, we decide to change this narrative. We want all peace-loving people to support the people of Saint Bight. We are very peace-loving. However, we come to the point now where we say enough is enough. And we are not blaming or criticizing anyone who has presented themselves to be leaders of the Garifuna people. We ask all organizations, Garifuna and non-Garifuna, to join us in speaking the truth of what is long overdue. I don't say that people dropped the ball. I say that the ball wasn't even picked up. And so, my people, this is not just a situation for Saint Bight. It is for all of us in Central America, in all of Belize, in the Caribbean. And as the brother rightfully said, the Maya have stated their claim. They won 2 land rights claims. And as indigenous people, we can benefit and stand on the movement of the Maya hand in hand with them. And therefore, the Garifuna Nation pledges to present ourselves to the government of Belize because we are a nation. So this conversation will go to the top, to the Prime Minister. And we have already begun making our presentations of dialogue, of negotiation to affirm what is our rightful position. We, the Garifuna, educated the nation. We were the ones who opened schools in all the rural communities in Belize. We were the ones who left our families to suffer so that we could sacrifice ourselves for the nation of Belize. And therefore, we are not begging. It is long overdue. So you are not alone, Saint Bight. You are with people from all over the country and all over the world. Your fight is our fight. So, Sereme Niebo.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you for those encouraging words of solidarity. Brother Joe?
Okay, thank you. I would like to thank all of you from Saint Bight who kindly joined and shared your stories with us of how the decisions made by the officials are affecting you. It's really appreciated, and I think those are the stories that need to be exposed. Now, the commonality that we have with the Saint Bight issue, which is people coming into their community without their permission, their free, prior, and informed consent, as well as in PG, where the fishermen who have left their boats on the shore for 200 years have suddenly been now left without a place to put their boats. The common thread here is the violation of the human rights of Garifuna by the government. And this is the reason why Garifuna, as Cynthia says, correctly must pick up the ball. The ball has never been picked up before in favor of Garifuna rights in Belize. What are we waiting for? The Maya set a precedent more than 10 years ago. 10 years. And we still haven't even picked up the ball. And it's time to change. And when the ball is picked up, this means that these kinds of things where people just see things come into their community without their free, prior, and informed consent will end. It means that the village council that currently makes these decisions has to go from our area, because even if the village council is full of Garinago, they are not following any Garifuna laws or regulation. They are following the government of Belize laws and regulations. So don't be fooled because the village council are Garinago that they are working in Garifuna interests, because that's not true. The only way for Garifuna to work in terms of their best interest is for the Garifuna to make their decision in their community and without the interference of the government, which is the law of Belize. These are the laws that Judge Conte affirmed. Do you know what it means when we say he affirmed these laws apply to indigenous people? Affirm means you always had the right, and the government was violating your rights all along. That's what it means. Not only was Judge Conte's, did Judge Conte affirm the rights of indigenous people, but the Caribbean Court of Justice reaffirmed our rights. And still, Garifuna are trying to decide which way to go. It's very simple. You take the path that go to court. The way I see this PG situation and this Seine Bight situation is that we have to file for an injunction against the government using our territory pursuant to Judge Conte's ruling in the Maya land rights case. That's what we have to do.
Yes. So the Garifuna
Without
Nation
apology.
is taking up the ball.
So we are taking up the
That's
ball,
what
Joe.
Garifuna is. And Cynthia said beautifully, we are inviting all other groups to come along while we pick up the ball and help us to hold this ball in the court of the Garifuna so that we have
Yes.
advantage.
Thank
Okay,
you.
brother.
Thank you, Brother
Angel.
Joe.
Courage.
Yes,
Courage.
the government is in contempt, and so we have to take them to court for being in contempt and violation of judgments, precedents already set. So without further ado, I want to thank everybody here very much. Thanking Niahon, to Laverne, to Cynthia, Matilda Palacio, Elaine Zuniga, Margaret, Pablo, Hilton, Alvia, Ellis Guzman, Akilah, all the way from Trinidad, Arthur, Jose, Loretta, Naomi, Don, Laverne, Godfrey. I heard you, Brother Godfrey. Even your business too is being affected. To Marion, Brother Wellington, Justo, Rodney from Nicaragua, and Dr. Azu. Thank you all very much for being here.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
And don't forget, re-education is necessary. We need to re-educate.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, everybody.
Please
Have a good
say
night.
good
Have a
news.
good night. Keep real. I'll be in touch, guys. I'll be in touch with you guys in Seine Bight. Guerrero here. I'll be in touch.